The Niger River, lifeline of a people and the golden road to their destiny. But in the age of empires, even rivers could be conquered. In the late 19th century, the kingdoms along this river, Benin, Nupe, Itsekiri, Igala, and the Igbo river states, faced an enemy unlike any they had ever known. How did the people of the Niger, once masters of trade and diplomacy, become subjects of an empire they never invited? This is the battle for the Niger. The Niger was more than water. It was a highway of wealth. Ivory, palm oil, bronze, and fine textiles flowed from deep forests to the ocean's edge.
The Niger territory was a bustling corridor of kingdoms: Benin, Itsekiri, Igala, Igbo coastal states, Nupe, and others. In pre-colonial Nigeria, these kingdoms and states developed complex trade systems, art forms, and diplomatic relations. Here's a brief glimpse. Benin Kingdom, known for its renowned bronze and brass works. The Benin Kingdom traded extensively with European merchants, exchanging goods like ivory, cloth, and pepper for firearms, cloth, and other luxury items. Itsekiri. The Itsekiri people controlled a significant portion of the Niger Delta trade, exchanging goods like salt, cloth, and metal goods for slaves, ivory, and other commodities. Igala. The Igala Kingdom played a crucial role in the region's trade, particularly in the distribution of goods like cloth, beads, and metal goods. They also had a complex system of diplomacy and alliances with neighboring states. Igbo coastal states. The Igbo coastal states, such as the Arar Confederacy, developed a thriving trade network based on goods like slaves, ivory, and palm oil. They also had a rich tradition of art and craftsmanship. Nupe. The Nupe Kingdom was known for its expertise in glass production and trade. They also had a complex system of governance and diplomacy, with ties to other regional powers. These states and kingdoms developed intricate diplomatic relations, often through strategic marriages, alliances, and trade agreements. Their art forms, such as bronze casting, wood carving, and textiles, reflect their rich cultural heritage and the exchange of ideas across the region. These pre-colonial systems laid the groundwork for the complex cultural, economic, and political landscape of modern-day Nigeria.
In Benin, artistry was the mark of power. Bronze casters told the story of kings in metal that would outlast centuries. Further upstream, the Nupe controlled inland trade routes, while the Igala sat at the crossroads of cultures, warriors, traders, and diplomats. Across the seas in London, industrial hunger grew. Palm oil-fed machines, ivory adorned the homes of the wealthy, and the Niger was the key.
The scramble for Africa was a period of intense competition among European powers to colonize and exploit the continent's resources. The British, French, Germans, Belgians, Italians, and Portuguese were among the main players. The scramble led to the partitioning of Africa and establishing colonies by the colonizing powers without regard for local cultures, traditions, or territorial claims. In Nigeria, the Royal Niger Company, RNC, played a significant role in the British colonization effort. Royal Niger Company. The RNC was a British chartered company that operated in West Africa, particularly in the Niger Delta region. They were granted a royal charter in 1886, giving them authority to administer and exploit the region's resources. The company's primary goal was to establish a monopoly over the region's trade, particularly in goods like palm oil, ivory, and slaves. British diplomatic tricks. The British used various diplomatic tricks to expand their control over Nigeria, including 1. Treaties. The British would often negotiate treaties with local leaders, which would grant them exclusive trading rights or control over specific territories. These treaties were often obtained through coercion, deception, or manipulation. 2. Protection treaties. British would offer protection to local leaders, promising to defend them against rival states or external threats. In return, the local leaders would cede control over their territories or resources to the British. 3. Sphere of influence. The British would declare certain regions as their sphere of influence, claiming exclusive rights to trade, administer, or colonize the area. This would often lead to conflicts with other European powers. The RNC played a significant role in this process, paving the way for British colonial rule in Nigeria.
Royal Niger Company, led by George Goldie, signed treaties with local rulers, sometimes by persuasion, other times by forgery and threat. Trade terms shifted. Where once African kingdoms dealt freely, now the British dictated prices and routes. Resistance grew. In 1895, King Koko of Nembe struck first, leading his warriors against the British post at Akassa.
In the sweltering Niger Delta, the brass people who inhabit the Nembe Kingdom had long been masters of their domain, their canoes slicing through the waters like knives. But the British Royal Niger Company, with its insatiable hunger for control, had been encroaching on their territory. Tensions simmered, and on February 28, 1895, the brass people rose up, attacking the company's headquarters at Akassa. The British responded with fury, razing the brass capital to the ground. The brass people's cries for freedom were silenced, but their bravery would be etched in history forever.
2 years later, Benin became the target. British envoys, sent under false pretenses, were killed, and London demanded revenge.
The city of Benin, once a beacon of art and culture, was about to know the wrath of the British. On January 4, 1897, British forces, led by Admiral Harry Rawson, descended upon the city, seeking revenge for the killing of British officials. The Oba, Ovan Ramwin Nagbayizi, watched in horror as his city was reduced to ashes. The Benin people's sacred altars were desecrated, their priceless artifacts looted. The city wept, its people shattered. The expedition's brutality would leave scars that would take centuries to heal. The Benin people's dignity was bruised, but their spirit remained unbroken.
By 1900, Britain declared the Niger territories its protectorate. Ancient kingdoms were reduced to provinces, but the river remembers. It flows past the same towns, the same forests, carrying the whispers of those who stood their ground. The battle for the Niger was not just a clash of arms, it was the meeting of two worlds and the birth of a new, often painful chapter in African history. Today, many of the treasures taken still lie in foreign halls, but the spirit of the river and of the people who fought for it flows on. The Niger endures.